Okay, so in this video, I was asked to talk about the differences of how two brains differ from each other. For example, a gifted, talented, creative student versus a regular student. There is many differences in brains of students like this. For example, gifted students, they have so much potential. They are very creative. They are very outstanding, and they're always trying their best. They're always doing more than what they're asked to. So I would just want to talk about it. Like, for example, the gifted, talented, and creative brain differs from other brains in different ways. While a gifted brain can be more clear about things and have better understandings of the things that they are presented, the things that they are learning, another brain can be struggling, looking for research, struggling, looking for answers, researching, to have a better understanding of what they are being introduced to. I mean, they get confused, they have to ask all these questions before they can understand something. Whereas the gifted students, you present something to them and they get it right away. Oftentimes that happens. Also, a talented person can be more open to explore and take new risks. And a normal student, like a regular ed student, they have to think about what they are asked to do. They don't like to take risks. They are afraid. They tend to stay on their comfort zone most of the time, and so it's hard to get them out of that comfort zone. So for gifted students, you tell them, okay, today we're going to act, and they're ready to do that. Or today we're going to do this, and they jump right into it. Where a regular ed kid is like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be exposed to things like that. So let's see here. Some physical differences can be that, for example, a gifted or a creative person, they're not too aware or too focused on appearance. Most of the time they just wear whatever. They're not aware of their surroundings. They are just not that focused. They're more focused on academics, on work getting done, things like that, but not on their physical appearance, how they look, how they are standing. And for a normal kid, sometimes that is like very important, and they have to look nice and they have to be sharp. Also, some gifted students or creative, they are either not aware at all of their appearance, or they go away and beyond. They have to look sharp all the time, and they have to make sure that their hair is perfect, or their clothes, or their shoes. Oftentimes they have what we describe as OCD, and they go to the extremes with it. That happens a lot with gifted people. They have OCD because they have to always be perfect at everything. And like I said, for a normal person, it's just not that. They care for their appearance and stuff like that, but gifted students, they tend to go extremely careful about how they look, and others just don't care. They can come to school with the same clothes every day and they don't care. Okay, for cognitive, there are some differences cognitive. For example, they're always looking for the best way to complete something and are never satisfied. They try to go beyond expectations. They ask questions until they are satisfied. They must always be right, and they argue their point no matter what. No matter what they're arguing for, if they are right, they have to fight for it, okay? Whereas a normal student, they're like, okay, I'm wrong, or they don't argue their point. They oftentimes don't give explanations. They don't ask that many questions either, and they only complete the work to the minimal. They don't go beyond. They are just like, as long as I get a grade, I'm okay with that. And for gifted, it's not. It's like they have to go away and beyond what the requirement is. Okay. Also, let's see, for academically, like for ability and achievement, ability is more like what a person can do, a person can be able to do without being taught. That's ability. What a student can do without being taught, without getting information or any kind of background before it. They can just jump in and do it. That's their ability. Whereas achievement is more like making it to a goal or getting a certain grade based on what you have already learned, based on what you have been taught. So those are the differences between ability and achievement. When it comes to gifted students, this is where we identify them or can point out that students who are gifted is because their ability to do things is just, out of proportion. They can do things, they can solve math problems that they have never seen, or they can write, poems, or they can act. I mean, there's many ways that students can be creative, and they can just show it. And if we see that, I mean, that's when we point out, oh, this kid has some kind of gifted or talent or creative inside them, okay? And achievement is more like the scores. We look at the scores, we look at the data. Is the student really reaching to the point where they have to be? That is achievement. And with gifted students, we usually see that the achievement is super high. They just learn very quickly, and sometimes when even things that they have not even been exposed to, they just learn it really quick. Okay, and then the other question was, how does the brain differences are due to both nature or nurture? So to me, is like the brain differences are due more to nature. I could really don't want to go by nurture. It's more nature. Students are born like that. They are giving that gift and they just use it. But it's also nurture because we have to teach them and we have to be able to get them to that next level. So if we can get them to reach that maximum, I mean, that's awesome. But it's more nature. They are born smart. They are capable of doing many things. And so, yeah. And why do I say this? It's basically because most students, they get the same information, but some just go beyond the learning point. They're also exposed to the same things, but gifted or creative students just take it to the next level. Okay, there are some sites where I was able to get this information, and one of them was on the Riverside School District, where it was saying the differences between achievement and abilities, and the other one is more of like how the brain works, how it's different, and why do we have those differences. Some of these differences are also in men and women, so I went ahead and I looked at the two minds, the cognitive differences between men and women. So this is it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye.